Mrs. M. Priyadarshini, ME MBA, is doing PhD, is currently working as teaching fellow in the Department of IST, Anna University, Chennai. She completed a master's in software engineering from Anna University. She has about 10 years of experience in handling courses for UG and PG. She was serving as technical evangelist for corporate over 4 years in Java enterprise technologies, software engineering, databases, OOAD, and design patterns. She is proficient in handling IT projects as well into concept development for enterprises. She is doing a research in the area of web services security. Her other areas of interest include software engineering, OOAD, databases, enterprise technologies, and service-oriented architecture. She holds many journal publications and conference proceedings in her research area.
Welcome to UGC lecture series in Computer Science Java Part 12. So in your previous sessions, we have discussed about Java environment, and also we have discussed about what are all the concepts that is available in Java, as well as we have also seen set of APIs, important set of APIs that are available in Java, such as your IO. So after that, we have also discussed on collections framework. So we have already discussed that in your previous session, that collection frameworks comes under Util Package. So these collection framework is used in order to store collection of objects. So it's a data structure which could store more number of objects as a collection, and it can process it. So as a continuation, we will continue with the other set of classes which is available in your Util package. So which are very important for your development, that is your Java development, Java application development. So first we will look on the set of util classes such as bitset. We will see about properties, your calendar, date, and also we will see about tokenizers. So bitset. So bitset is the class that is available in java.utilpack. So the java.util bitset class implements a vector of bits that grows as needed. So a bit set is not safe for multi-threaded use without external synchronization. All bits in the set initially have the value false. Passing a null parameter to any of the methods in the bit set will result in a null pointer exception. So here your bitset class implements a vector of bits that grows as needed. So already we have seen in the collections framework that vector is a data structure in which you can keep on adding the objects as and when needed. So you can increase the size of it. So this is disadvantage of your array that we have seen. So array, we have a fixed set of maximum value. So above that value you cannot include any objects in your array, whereas in your vector and all the other collections you can keep on adding. Similar to that, in your bitset class also you can add as many as bits whenever you like in your class. So it is not safe for multi-threaded. So whenever you go in for multi-threaded, so you have to synchronize the value that is set in the set using your bitset class, and then only you can process. So in case of multi-threaded environment, it's always better to use external synchronization and does not rely on your bitset. And all the bits in the set has n value false. So initial value that is set in the bit set will be false. And next is whenever I pass a null parameter to the bit set, so it will raise a null pointer exception. So null doesn't means that it is a value of 0. Null is you have no value. So whenever I try to access that, a null pointer exception will be raised. So initially by default the bit will be set with value false, and if I want to set it to true, just I can set it. And if I have set a null value, so this may raise a null pointer exception. It means that we have not set true value, also not false value. So these are all the constructors that is available in the bitset class. So bitset creates a new bit set. So as the name specifies, a bit set, there is set of bits. So another constructor bitset within n bits, so n number of bits. So creates a bit set whose initial size is large enough to explicitly represent bits with indices in the range 0 through n bits minus 1. I can create a new bit set, keep on increasing the size. or else I can just give a maximum size that I am going to give for the bit set. And the methods available in your bit set is flip. So, sets the bit at specified index to the complements of its current value. Next is set a particular bit index. Next boolean get the bit index. So, the index which will give me the particular bit that is being set. So, here for this bit set we have two constructors. One is bit set without any argument. So, without any argument means that you can keep on increasing the size of the bit set as needed, or else I can specify a maximum number of bits that is needed in order to be set in your bit set. So, it is a set of bits. So, next is the methods that we have in this particular bit set is one is flip. So, if I already have 0 value, it will be set to 1. If I have already 1 value, it will be set to 0. So, it means that true to false and false to true. And next is we have set method. So, set method has a parameter of the bit index. So, in that bit set, the value of that particular bit index will be set to a particular value. So, it is indexed to true. So, when I told you that by default it will be false, and whenever I say set, so it will be set to true value, and get value of a particular bit index will be used in order to get values from the bit set of the particular bit index. So, if I have 10 bits, so if I want to access the 5th bit, so then automatically I can use bit index to be 4 because it starts from 0 to 9. So, where do we use this bit set? So, in case of priority queues, memory pages, inodes, disk sectors, etc. And then for information retrieval we are using this bit set, and compressed Huffman coding we are using this bit set. And we have also we also know that what is parity setting, how it is used for sending your bits and then verifying your bits. So, this bit set, a set of bits where we have zeros and ones, which is used in many applications. So, like I can use this in the priority queues as well as I can use that in checking the parity. So, it means that I have a set of bits and I am passing that bit to the other end of the network. So, in that case I can set a parity bit along with the bit that has been bit set that has been generated, and at the other end I can just check whether the bit set that is sent from the sender is the same as that of the what is received at the receiver. So, in that case I can have a parity bit being set along with my particular number of bits I like to send. So, this parity can be odd parity or it can be even parity. So, here we can see an example. For 7 we have 3 bits. So, you know that this is binary representation of 7, and then along with this I add a bit parity bit. So, here you can see the number of ones is odd already. So, this is setting of odd parity. So, in that case I can set the value to be 0. It means that the data that has odd number of ones. So, this will be used in checking that whether any bit has been changed during the transit at the other end. So, similarly for 6 I have 1, 1 and 0. For odd parity I have here even number of ones, and then I have to set my parity bit to be. So, here is a sample program which is used in order to set the parity. So, you can see that import java.util.star. So, here we have an integer that is taken from the command line argument, that is my 0th argument, and I have a method called toBinaryString. So, this is toBinaryString is the method that is available in the integer class, and integer class you know is in wrapper class. So, this wrapper class has a static method. So, you can see that we have used a class name in order to access the particular method. So, toBinaryString and then I am passing an integer. So, this will give a string representation of the binary value of the particular integer. So, whatever the integer that I have received as input is passed as parameter, that input. So, think that we have seen that 7. So, if I take 7 as the value, so in that case the binary representation of the 7 will be returned in form of string. So, we can see system.out.print, I am printing the length. So, binary.length. So, this will give for 7, this will give 3. So, int length binary.length. So, bit set new bit set of length. So, we have seen that there are two constructors for bit set, one is with arguments, another one is without arguments. So, now I am having a for loop. This loop is run for accessing the entire bit values of that particular string value. So, now I use I less than length. So, already we have seen that length is nothing but the length of the bit set. So, now I have this is my bit set, that is my binary. See here you can see this is the binary value of the integer that I have got. So, now character at. So, char at, we have seen that in string we have a method called char at. Whenever I give the index, particular character that is specified in the index will be given as the result. So, now I am having value is equal to, I am getting that particular character at that particular position and then I am equating that to 1. So, it means that I am checking, double equal to means that I am going to check it. One single equal to means that I am going to assign a value, whereas double equal to means that I am going to check the particular value. I am checking whether this value is 1. So, now in that case I am printing what is the value, whether it is 1 or 0, whatever it is, if value. So, this val is nothing but true or false. So, here you can see that I already told you that by default it will be false and you can change that to true. So, bit set dot set I comma true. So, now this value for this particular index, the value is set to true. So, I am taking this string and then I am setting it to bit set. So, you can see that this is the integer is converted into string and then I am creating a new bit set and then I am trying to set the bit value based on the value that I have at the particular position in this string. So, if it is 1, so then I will assign that to true, otherwise I will set that to false. I need not set because by default it will be false. So, I am counting it and then I am printing it. So, I can print value before setting the parity. So, I can check all the values bs.get, it means that bitset.get value I am getting it. So, if bs.get of I, it means that if the value is true I have to print it as 1. If the value is false I have to print it as 0. So, then I am trying to check for count, that is nothing but I am checking for parity. So, I am checking the parity and if the parity is even, so then I am setting that to be particular value and then value after parity setting. So, I am after setting I am just accessing the same value, bit set value, same zeros and ones provided if my value is true. So, I am having an arithmetic exception. So, this will be raised when my value that I have given as input is not a proper integer, and then if I have not given a value, integer value while running my program, then automatically array index out of bounds exception will be raised. So, normally this parity setter could be used when in cases where you have frame values to be set, and in simulators, normally in simulators like NS2 we have various bits and bits to be changed. In case of networks I have a frame. So, frames will be generated based on all zeros and ones. So, in that case if I want to set a particular value to 0 or 1, just I can use the bit set and then I can represent whatever the values that I have in form of bits and then I can process it. So, that will be helpful for processing all binary values, that is zeros and ones. So, we are currently discussing about the util package, and now we will have a short break and continue the session. Welcome back. Now, we will discuss upon the other classes that are available in the util package, and next we will go into another class called date. So, this date class, so before I say something about this date class, I need to say something about SQL package also. So, there are two date classes, one is available in the SQL package and the other one is available in the util package. So, the date class that is available in the SQL package is used in order to store and retrieve the date data type in the database. So, all your date, your time, your day, your month and year, all these values are needed in order to store your date information in case of if you are storing it in the database. So, there is another date class which is available in your util package. So, it's used to process your date. So, normally the date will be given in terms of long values in your util pack. So, these date classes both are under two different packages. So, this is what is usage of package. So, the same class in two different packages. So, whenever I use that, I have to use java.util.date or java.sql.date. In case if I am going to use two date classes, one available in SQL, one available in the util in the same program, so then I cannot import it as such and use it, because while I import, so there will be an ambiguous date class. So, I want to use at one end, I want to use that as the date class which is to be stored in the database, whereas in the other end I want to process the particular date. So, in that case it is always better to have my date class with the fully qualified name, that is I should use with java.util.date or I have to use as java.sql.date inside my program also. So, in that case there will not be any ambiguity in using the date class, but once if I am going to use only one particular date class, we do not have any issue at all. You can be used as such, you use any other classes in Java API, whereas if you want to use these two classes in the same program, so in that case I need to specify the name clearly, that is my fully qualified name along with my package name. So, with namespace specification. So, you can see that there are two constructors, one is date and without any arguments, other one is date with the long data type. So, this represents a specific instant in time with millisecond precision. So, this could give you the time, whereas your normal date class that is available in SQL will give all the information regarding the particular date and time. So, next we will look into what is properties. So, before discussing upon this property class, so you need to know what is the usage of property in your Java application and all the other application, not only in Java. So, you know that whenever you want to configure something, you need some keys to be set to some values. So, for example, I want to use a database, I want to use a table and I want to use a set of fields. So, in that case, in one particular application, I want to use a particular database. In another application, I want to use another database. So, and then you can even say that you have path, your class path. So, in that case, your path should be set to some particular value, your class path should be set to some particular value. So, all these values, if at all statically used in your program, later on whenever I want to make changes in the particular values that is assigned to that, then in that case it's needed in order to change your entire program. So, for example, I am having a particular name of a database I am using inside my program. So, that database name only could be used in order to create a database. So, always whenever I use a program, I need to have a database with that particular name. But later on, if I want to or if I need to change the particular database name, so then I have to make change in my program, I have to compile it and then I have to use my program. That is, I have to recompile it and then use my program. So, in that case, I all the associated classes also will get affected, provided if I have used it. So, in that case, what I can do is just I can create that as a separate property file. So, configurations could be done using this property file. So, whenever I want to have an username and password, so which is used to configure your particular server or a particular environment. So, in that case I need to store that as a form of property. So, if I want to change, I can just directly go and change only the property file content instead of changing that in my program. So, all these configurations that need to be done and that need to be used in your program could be created as a property file. So, the extension of this property file will be dot properties. So, you can notice that whenever you have an server being created or whenever you have a package being created, there will be lot of property files available which could be used in order to set the properties at various places in your applications. So, in util we have a class called properties which is used in order to store and retrieve the property. So, that will be in form of a key value pair. So, I will have the name and then I will have the property. So, even if you take a class, so you say that a class has state and behavior. State is nothing but the properties of that particular class, like name, ID, age, all these are properties. So, similar to that, if I want to log in into your database, so I have login ID and password. So, I need to have driver name. So, similarly, all the properties that need to be accessed could be represented in form of name value pairs. So, you can see that java.util.properties class is a class which represents a persistent set of properties. The properties can be saved into a stream or loaded from the stream. Following are the important points about your properties. Each key and its corresponding value in the property list is a string. This class is thread safe. Multiple threads can share a single property object without need for external synchronization. So, one is it represents a persistent set of properties. So, what is a persistent set of properties? So, persistence is nothing but whenever I have a data, if the data only resides till the program execution, so then that is said to be transient. So, the data that even exists after my execution of the program, that is said to be persistent. So, these property files are persistent files. So, I can store it and retrieve it later on and access it. So, that is what is meant by persistent. So, this gives you a persistent set of key values. So, I already told you the key and values is stored in form of strings. So, key is equal to value. So, you have to store it in this format only. Next, the class is thread safe. So, thread safe in the sense your property file or not property file, your property object that you create as an instance of the property file properties class that is available in your util package, you are instantiating it. So, in that case the same property object could be used by multiple applications. So, multiple applications can use this property object without external synchronization. So, already it is synchronized and many persons can use the same property file at the same point of time. So, you can see that this properties extends the hash table. So, in your previous session we have seen about your various collections. So, in that we have a hash table. So, that hash table is the base class for your properties class. So, your property class extends your hash table class. So, you can see that I have written a class called PROP, so in which I have file input stream. So, already I told you that the properties can be stored to a stream or loaded from a stream. So, it means that always a properties class should be associated with a file. So, that file I am going to store the properties as well as I can retrieve the properties. I can load the properties that is available in the property file. Here I have a file input stream. In this file input stream I have the name of the file is login.properties. I told that the extension of the property file will be login.properties. So, the extension will be properties. So, now I create properties, I create an instance of the property file. So, and then I call a method called load, p1.load, and then I give the file input stream as the parameter. And then I try to access p1.get user ID and password. So, it means that I have a variable or key with name UID, I have an other key with the name password. So, now these two values are accessed from the properties object, and here we have an option called load. So, load is used to load the file input stream contents inside your properties class. So, this particular object is going to hold the values that is available in the properties file. So, once I call the method called load, this method gets automatically loaded into your particular properties object. You can see that this is a sample login.properties file. So, in that file I can open a notepad and then I can store a list of properties. So, here I have user ID and then password. So, this is the key and this is the value. So, this is the key value pair. So, for user ID I have given UGC and for password I have given UGC pass. So, like this you can have various properties in the same file. So, now only constraint is I can have only one particular key. This is like your map what we have seen in the collections framework. So, the key will be unique whereas the value could be same. So, for user ID also I can have the same value, for password also I can have the same value, whereas my key will be unique. So, it means that I can have only one key value in one particular property file. So, I cannot have another user ID and password. So, if so I have to differentiate with the particular name and I can access it, corresponding to that particular name. So, for example, if I have database user ID and password, I can just give DBUID, DB password, etc. I need to make it unique. So, now this property file once passed as parameter to the load method, right, will load the set of key value pairs in the P1, that is the P1 object here. So, automatically this P1 object can access all the values. So, whenever I say P1.getUID, it means that the user ID, the value of the user ID key, here user ID is a key, password is a key. So, value for that corresponding will be loaded and you will get, it gets printed here because we have given system.out.println and then you get, so automatically the value will be received and then it will be printed. So, next we will look on about the calendar class. So, calendar is also a class that is available in your util package. So, calendar is an abstract based class for converting between a date object and set of integer fields such as year, month, day, hour and so on. So, calendar right now is equal to calendar.getInstance. So, that it is obvious that getInstance method is a static method here, and then using this calendar class I am directly accessing the static method and then I am trying to get all the values regarding the particular date. So, class method creates a calendar subclass object called Gregorian calendar. So, calendar is an abstract class whereas Gregorian calendar is a subclass of it. So, for calendar class I have a constructor protected calendar, construct a calendar with default time zone and locale, and protected calendar I give a time zone and locate a particular time zone or for the particular locale. So, you can see here calendar I am getting the instance of the calendar and then I am trying to access the date. So, calendar.date, calendar.month, calendar.year, hour, minute and second. So, it means that getInstance is a static method and all these are static variables. So, all these static variables could be directly accessed from the calendar abstract class. So, just I am trying to print all these values. So, next we look into what is string tokenizer. This tokenizers are normally used in compilers in order to tokenize the particular statement. So, for example, if I have an if statement, if I have an switch case statement, I have various tokens. Tokens are nothing but the keywords what we have, your variable names, etc. So, everything is split into various tokens and then they are processed. So, similarly, we have a class called string tokenizer as well as we also have a class called stream tokenizer. So, stream tokenizer is a class which is used to tokenize the contents of a stream, whereas string tokenizer is used to tokenize the contents of a string. So, we have a fully qualified name for this is java.util.string tokenizer. So, the string tokenizer class allows an application to break a string into tokens. So, the delimiter we use in order to tokenize it. So, normally whenever you have a sentence, so the delimiter in order to split the words is your space. I can use a delimiter in order to split that particular string into tokens. So, I can use one single delimiter or multiple delimiters in order to tokenize the contents that is available in the string. So, whenever I create a tokenizer, I have to say based on what delimiter you are trying to tokenize the particular string. So, you can see two constructors, one is string tokenizer, new string tokenizer of string. So, here I have not specified any delimiter. So, in this case my blank space will be the delimiter. If I am specifying a particular delimiter, so then in that case I can split that particular string into tokens based on the delimiter. So, we have two methods, one is has more tokens and next token. So, has more tokens is used in order to check whether we have any other tokens, and next token is used to move on to the next token. So, the applications of your string tokenizer is we can use it in parsers to study a CSV file. So, comma separated value file. So, nowadays all the files that is transferred across web is used as a CSV file, that is comma separated. So, all the data is separated using comma. So, in that case I can use this particular string tokenizer, even it will be appropriate to use stream tokenizer and then split that based on the comma, and then study the text files and perform certain security mechanism. Also we go in for using tokenizer to interpret the property file. So, you can see that your property file you have a key and value which is split using equal to symbol. So, here we have string. So, this string we have equal to symbol and semicolon. Yes, here equal to symbol, based on this if I tokenize it will be split into two tokens, one is the name and then other one is the value. So, I can split all these into name and value pairs. So, you can see that here string tokenizer I am constructing with semicolon, equal to symbol and semicolon. So, I just have key is equal to value being printed as a result. So, as a summary, we have seen about various classes like bit set class, your property class, your calendar, your date, etc. So, from this session we will be able to answer questions like how a property file is created, what is bit set, what is the purpose of the date class, applications of the string tokenizer. So, in your forthcoming sessions we will be discussing about Java database connectivity, how Java is used for networking, how to create user interface using Java and so on. Thank you.